I don't know what kind of cheese do you think the moon's made of?
I think it's mozzarella or queso fresco, just because it's white cheese. You know what I mean?
I say it's Swiss all the way
Swiss cheese.
because it's got the holes in it, and
Oh.
craters with the holes. No,
No, well, it's not cheddar. That's for sure.
it's not cheddar. Monterey Jack. Hey, thanks for joining us today. This is the post-credit show. I'm Ronnie Williams.
And I'm Sergio M.
And today we're going to be focusing on First Man, the Neil Armstrong story.
Yep. Moon landing and the flat Earth and all that.
Oh boy, the flat earthers, watch out.
Uh-oh.
But as always with the post-credit show, this is essentially your guys' show. So if you type in a comment and want to discuss, I don't know, Ghostbusters, we'll talk about Ghostbusters a bit. You know, you guys run the show, but you know, until then, we got some comments for First Man, and we're gonna go through like what people thought. And there's been actually some controversies with First Man, and also like how people should watch it. Should that spend the extra money on IMAX? You know.
Well, what about our guest here? I forgot about our guest.
Oh yeah. So this is our representation of the moon. As you can see, white circle. I think we did a pretty bang up job.
So this is Swiss cheese?
And the sunglasses were to make it more kid friendly.
Or Cool Whip.
Cool.
So what about the movie, Ronnie? Well, I thought it was a good movie.
Oh, I enjoyed it as well. Like, something about the vacuum of space just scares me to death. So this is like the perfect Halloween movie for me. Like, especially like when they're like messing around in Earth's atmosphere and everything's going haywire. Those were like heart-pounding scenes, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you can feel the thrill, like, it's up there and, like, it's all dark and, like, in the abyss of darkness.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah, like when they were looking for the other part to dock with and, like, they couldn't find it. I'm like, man, it's literally a needle in a haystack. They're like, math. Oh, we found it.
He found it with graph paper.
More or less.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And he's like, be quiet. I got to do this.
I got to figure out this graph.
Right. But yeah, I saw it in the IMAX. How'd you view it?
I just saw it regular.
I strongly recommend seeing the IMAX. Not only for the big screen, but the sound quality is probably better.
Okay.
Like especially those Earth atmosphere scenes, just the sound was like right at you.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier too, that like where the scene where he goes to the moon, like they should turn up the AC and make it really cool.
Oh yeah, like I totally was having chills during the movie, and out here in California, people bring like blankets and sweatshirts and stuff into the movies. I'm saying don't bring those. You know, you want to feel the cold of space because you're a rocket man.
Yeah.
Burning out a fuse out there alone.
Damn.
I'm going to try to do as many lyrics as possible.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be a long, long time. So, yeah, let's get to some of the comments. Analog Waves said, I saw it this morning and loved it. How many movies have been made about the moon landing? I can't think of many at all, which surprised me considering what a huge event it was.
So when I was watching the movie, the first thing that came to my mind was Armageddon.
I think they landed on an asteroid on that one.
Yeah, but
space.
Yeah, it's a space movie. But he's right about the. What did they comment on his?
Oh, Leave Me to Die here said, what about the intro to Watchmen?
Okay.
And I'm like, oh yeah, Doc Manhattan was there holding the camera.
Yeah.
And he also said, oh, Transformers Dark of the Moon.
Oh.
Of course. The classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also Apollo 13. You gotta slide that one in there. I guess this would be considered a prequel to Apollo 13.
And a sequel to October Sky. Yeah, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And also, if you really think about it, it's a prequel to our last week's topic, Venom.
Yeah. See?
Just imagine that Ryan Gosling is J. Jonah Jameson's son.
Yeah.
And he brought back the symbiotes in Apollo 12.
Okay.
Yeah, they still need to make Apollo 12, by the way.
Mm.
Come on, Hollywood. But it does seem a bit odd that it's taken, 50 years for them to do a moon landing movie?
I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy in the internet right now. A lot about that they never went to the moon. So
yeah.
I think that's what inspired them to make a movie about it. You know?
But yeah, I loved that this movie puts tons of people dedicated their lives to make this happen, and even sacrificed their lives to make it happen.
Yeah,
you know,
they don't get the recognition that they deserve. So,
any doubts I had, I wasn't 99% sure, which is not sure at all in this day and age. Uh-huh. But after watching the movie, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's all these engineers. They put so much effort. The movie really made you feel that, that this was an accomplishment.
Yeah. A lot of these things are not public, and so
yeah,
you kind of just get a feel.
Looks like someone's joined us in the chat. Rachel, what's with the circle and the sunglasses? Well, this is our moon. You can see the white background, and the sunglasses are to make it so you can, don't get blinded by the moon.
Okay.
And Rachel or anybody else watching, if you feel like you want to talk about a different movie, we'll totally dive into it. Any movies you saw this summer would be good. We're here for you guys. But going on to the next comment. And about the atmosphere of watching an IMAX, Jimmy Scrambles is hot. I had to cough so badly during the moon sequence, but I held it back so I didn't ruin anybody's experience. My God, I never tried that hard at something in my entire life.
Because the whole theater was kind of quiet when he's gliding into the moon,
Right.
It's getting to
that was the nerve-wracking thing, because there's that huge crater,
right.
And the bad guy from Ant-Man's dude, those boulders are big as cars. You can't land there. And the fuel's running out, and you have to keep turning out the alarms. Mm-hmm. I was on the edge of my seat, and then he landed like a dove, like a leaf on the wind.
You could hear the silence in the theater.
Yeah, I mean, the only most recent experience that happened to me was A Quiet Place. People stopped munching popcorn because of that movie. That's the beauty of the silence of this movie. And I had a weird thought with that, they don't want you jamming up the radio frequencies, so the astronauts have to be quiet most of the time.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah. And then that plug scene, they're jibber jabbering,
Yeah.
They're they can't hear us, but
it was mostly Houston doing the talking.
Yeah, it's mostly Houston. The astronauts only relay as need basis,
Yeah. So in the opening scene, he's Neo, you're bouncing off the atmosphere. He's in a plane, right?
Right, a test plane. And at first he was getting dragged up there, right, by another plane, and then thrusters to get even higher.
Yeah.
And later he explained orbits are so different. It's you'd think you need to use your thrusters to catch up to something, but no, that would put you in a higher orbit and it would take you longer. It's opposite, but he's the math checks out. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, I remember that scene. What else, Ronnie? I felt the movie was kind of divided. One part of the movie was really about the science of it,
Mm-hmm.
and the other movie was a lot of drama.
Yeah, I think the movie is more drama than anything else. Like, once they achieved what they needed to achieve for each thing,
Mm-hmm.
like they didn't show them land that often, you know?
Yeah.
Like it just cut. Like it was interesting where they cut, you know?
Yeah, the way the movie was directed, I really like the time lapse. Like it was jump forward a year or a
Yeah.
year and a half or whatever, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the way it was formatted. So what else do they have to say?
Oh, offensive name said, I wish I'd been in your theater instead of the family behind me. They kept talking through the whole movie. I finally switched them a second time just before the Apollo 11 launch, and they shut up after that. But Dad loudly dropped his popcorn bucket during the scene where Neil and his wife are reunited. Oh, spoiler alert, they land on the moon.
Oh, they do land on the moon. They didn't film it in Nevada. No, they do land on the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I was at the theater, and luckily, when I was there, everybody was quiet, you know. So I could feel you're like it feels like he's gonna crash or something. And I'm glad they didn't put anything like that didn't fit in there. Like
Right.
it was all as realistic as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like, inside of me, I was kind of hoping, I'm like, what if an alien shows up or something? I like, no, it's not this type of movie.
Yeah. Rachel asked, have you guys seen A Star is Born? I have. I think you're going to see it later.
I'll see it this week.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're going to cover that closer to Oscar time because I got a feeling that's going to get a ton of Oscar buzz. But I think First Man's going to edge out a lot of those nominations. You know, that's just my opinion. I think, yeah, Ryan Gosling's quiet trumps singing somehow.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll get further into detail. But if anybody wants to discuss any movies that they've seen, you know, favorite scenes from a movie you saw this summer, you know, we'll dive straight in.
A Star is Born.
Yeah, I definitely go see it, Rage. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Fun movie. Yeah, it's definitely a go see it in theaters. Like, there's one scene where you get all the chills. Like, it's a bigger feeling than I've gotten in a movie in a long time. So just for that scene, yeah, I'd go see it in the theater.
It's totally worth it.
Especially if you've got these newfangled subscriptions, whether it be New Movie Pass or AMC. There's a ton of them out there now. I'm looking into them possibly to sponsor the show.
They can pay us to go see their movies.
Yeah, pay us twice. I don't know how money works. Ugh.
So what else they got?
So there's a big controversy with this movie.
What's the controversy around?
Okay, so all over Twitter, people are upset because they didn't show them physically putting the flag into the ground of the moon.
Oh, yeah. I mean, today when I showed up here and I hadn't read the comments directly, and then that's the first thing I mentioned. I was like, why didn't they put the flag in the closing scene, you know? That's supposed to be like the cherry on top.
Right.
You know, and like...
Yeah, because it seemed like the whole movie, like if you watch the movie, like it's all about the space race. Like they're like, man, the Russians are beating us here. The Russians are beating us here. So they're like, okay, we're going to land on the moon because it's so far ahead in technology. Like they have to do so many advances to make that happen. And they explain it really well. Like, here's Earth, moon's way over here, and this is where Russia is, you know? It's like barely nothing. And like, that's how much advances we have to do, you know? And it's, in that moment, it seemed like an insurmountable task. And like, Americans sacrificed their lives to make it happen. And so people are like, well, why didn't you show them planting the flag? And Ryan Gosling in an interview said it was a mankind achievement, a global achievement versus an American achievement. And he agrees with the director in editing out the actual flag planting scene.
What I think is that it's more of a, let's not offend the other nations. It's an international movie. But, I mean, you're going against Russia already. So
Right.
you're already, like, at pride, you know. So it's kind of like it's a race, you know what I mean?
Right. Rachel's wondering if we're actually going to rate movies like thumbs up or 4 stars, or are you just going to talk about movies? I think if we are going to do a rating system, it's just how soon you should see a movie, you know?
Okay.
So, like, Stars Born, I'd say see it this week, you know?
Okay.
Bad Times at the El Royale, I'd say see it today. Because I really enjoyed that one. I saw that one yesterday. But yeah, that'll be the rating system. Like, see it eventually, see it in a month, and like the very bottom would be read a book.
Okay. What about this movie, Ronnie?
This movie, I don't know. I'd see it today, or maybe see it this week, but see it in IMAX.
See it in IMAX.
Like, either see it today however you can, or wait for you being able to see it in IMAX.
Yeah.
You know, go look for some extra, you know, pop cans in the street so you can pay the $20 to watch in IMAX.
Whoa.
But AMC's A-list, they covered mine. So that covered the month subscription because it's like $20 to see it in IMAX.
Yeah.
But AMC covered it for me. So
Okay.
I recommend that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think we should have seen the flag, because that's like they're twisting the story.
That's the funny thing, though, is the flag is there. It's in the background, right next to the lunar lander. Like, you know, he does the very symbolic thing of throwing his daughter's necklace in the crater, but then like he turns and you see, you know, as Buzz Aldrin just, you know, prancing around on the moon.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think it was more the moment for Neil Armstrong, you know, like even though he's achieved all this and he should be happy, all he can think about is his daughter.
Yeah.
You know?
When he drops the bracelet.
Right.
Well, what was his co-pilot? His wife's jewelry?
Yeah, and I thought that was a great bit of foreshadowing. Like he said, you know, his wife is like, you know, plant my earrings on the moon or what have you. My toe ring. I think they had toe rings back then.
Oh no.
My nose piercings. Put them on the moon.
Put my nose piercing.
Yes, Buzz Aldrin's wife, I believe, she was a biker.
She was a biker.
Yes, she was in several motorcycle clubs.
Aye.
We're all joking aside, folks. But yeah, it's funny, like, because Fox News said that they didn't show them planting it, and I think Fox also said that they do show it, but just not planting it. And so that's what people are upset with, and also the explanation that they gave that it was a global achievement. I'm like, well, no, it's an American achievement. You know, I don't know how much Uzbekistan, you know, put into it.
Right. I mean, that was the whole. I think that's what I was waiting for. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, once you see the American flag,
right? Because that is like the most symbolic thing up there. It's like putting the footprint and then the flag. That's what you think of when you think of moon landing.
It's like you're claiming the land. You know what I mean? It's like when Columbus landed and you're claiming it. You're like,
right. And it was saying, we won the space race. Good luck getting to Mars.
Yeah. But anyways.
But yeah, But let's see.
Let's see what else are they saying.
Yeah, Richard Zero Coopland said the controversy over Flag is probably the best example why you should watch the movie before getting angry. The movie wasn't about America; it was about Neil's handling of grief. If the planting had been included, it would have probably overshadowed the scene of Neil letting go. And totally agree with you there, Richard.
So the scene is where he lets go of the bracelet and he's kind of like mourning his daughter, right?
Right.
But no, I feel the scene was supposed to be about like him landing in the moon.
Right. Yeah. It's tough because that's what everybody wants. This is the moon landing movie, and not like I would say 90% of it totally would fit in that category.
Yeah.
But like it's that extra 10% that makes it Neil Armstrong's movie.
Yeah.
Like it's 100% Neil Armstrong's movie. Like they do not go into Buzz Aldrin at all, or who even knows what the third guy's name was.
Yeah, I was trying to catch names. I couldn't catch anything.
Right.
I only saw Gus and somebody else, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, Gus. Yeah, poor Gus.
Poor Gus.
But yeah, some people are suggesting on Twitter, why didn't they like focus on the 3 astronauts? Like, the more outgoing Buzz Aldrin. Oh, and Buzz Aldrin, he's still around and he is pissed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like, what the hell? Why didn't you show the flag planting thing? Like, and I could see it. Astronauts and test pilots gave their lives to make it happen. Like, they are testing way advanced equipment and it malfunctioned often, and they showed it, and it was like really tragic.
Yeah. So the astronaut's really pissed that they didn't put the scene?
Buzz Aldrin was, yeah, the second man on the moon.
Oh no, I would be pissed too.
Yeah.
But see, that goes back to like what I said at the beginning. It's divided. One is the science part, and one is like the drama.
Right.
So,
but even there, it's like 50-50 split between the drama and the science.
Right.
And someone pointed out like there is a clear like Oscar bait moment for Claire Foy. Claire Foy plays Armstrong's wife. And, she just goes there like, you guys are just boys, I think that's even in the trailer. You guys have no idea what you're doing.
That scene, I thought it was a more powerful scene where she goes in the office and she throws the briefcase and you could see her eyes.
Oh,
it's a really, really powerful scene.
Yeah, there's a lot of great scenes in this movie. When she's angry at Neil because he is just going to take off.
Yeah, he's trying to sneak out the back,
Yeah, and he's like, you got to sit down with the boys and explain to him, hey, you might not make it out of here.
Yeah. To me, that scene was more powerful than the other one, but it's all in preference.
Right. But yeah, Self-Fulfilling Prophet said 2 big scenes that stood out to me. Armstrong's hilariously awkward goodbye to his sons, where he acts like he's at a press conference. And he asks his sons, do you have any more questions? Neil is not the guy to, take interviews. And it was really clear. They sent him to Washington, and he had, an awful time talking to anybody. People had to step in and talk for him, But he was all about the work and the math, And I think that's Gosling's performance putting it through.
Yeah.
I think he is, the expert on quiet and subtle acting right now. If you've seen Drive or Place Beyond the Pines, he does silences. Even The Notebook has really good silences. Crazy Stupid Love, not so much.
Okay.
Oh, what else? Oh, and going back to the flag controversy, movie Mance, Scott Mance, a movie critic said Venom is shrugging off negative reviews and is #1 again with $35.7 million, bringing in a huge worldwide total of $378 million. And then Stars Born's number 2 again this weekend, and First Man only got $16.6 million. So it got like less than half that Venom got in a second week. And I don't know, like, we might follow up on this. Like, is it really the controversy about the flag that kept people from going to the theaters?
I don't know, Ronnie. I think people are just not interested in like Neil Armstrong for some reason.
I don't know. Like, I was really interested in this one. Like, that's why we picked it for this topic over Bad Times at the El Royale, which is great. Like, having watched both films, maybe Bad Times would have been the better movie, because like, I like funner movies, you know. I don't want to, you know.
Yeah, this is a drama.
Yeah, drama. Like, I don't know. I have to be in the right mood, and I really enjoyed First Man, but you know, I'd rather have fun over drama. For me, fun trumps drama, you know. And I think that's most of America, and maybe you guys. Like, would you rather go have a fun time at the movies, or would you want to feel all the feelings? What do you look for in a movie, Serge?
I agree with you. I think it should be more about a fun movie over a movie about feelings, but it's all in preference. But I like science movies, so that's why maybe I'm like, oh, science movie. I was like, moon landing, spaceship. I'm like, okay.
And it looks like a few more people have joined the live stream. If there's any movies you guys want to talk about, feel free to type them in and we'll go over them, you know? Like, if you got a favorite scene from the summer, like you caught the Meg or Peppermint, feel free to, you know, chat at us and we'll discuss it, you know? We're a flexible show here.
Yeah, we'll take comments.
Right. Anything else you want to go over with First Man?
The shaky cam.
Yeah, a lot of people on Twitter and Reddit were like, "Ugh, shaky cam takes me out of the movie."
I like the shaky cam. It makes me feel like, you know, something in the movie, like what's happening, you know,
right?
I mean? Versus like them shaking and it's just like that. Like you just see a little rattling, but the shaky cam is like, it's a good,
right.
It belongs there.
And yeah, I found out I was watching an interview about Hardcore Henry of all movies, and apparently they're wondering if people would get motion sickness because it's like a rig strapped to these stuntmen the whole movie, and they're like, well, they did studies on Cloverfield. And apparently that had a lot of shaky cam, if you remember Cloverfield.
I love Cloverfield.
Great movie. We can't wait for Overlord. We're totally doing Overlord when it comes out.
I didn't like that Netflix movie, though.
It had problems.
Yeah, okay.
But I love Chris O'Dowd. I'll watch anything with Chris O'Dowd. The guy who lost his arm. Spoilers! But yeah, they said the further back you sit in the theater, the less motion sick you get. So maybe people who really don't like motion sickness, but, you know, anything that happens in space or with explosions might have shaky cam. Maybe sit further back in the movie and maybe it won't take you out as much.
So we're sitting in the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our mutual friend Brandon insists on sitting in the very back every movie.
Oh.
I know.
I like the middle back.
I like middle.
Yeah.
But like with these new reclining chairs, like you gotta get up a little further because then you recline back and then, you know, you're looking up at the screen instead of like tilting your head. I look ridiculous on camera.
The only thing I wish he had a more supporting cast. Neil, I feel only the wife. I got the feel for the wife.
Yeah, Claire Foy did an excellent job acting.
But other than that, everybody was kind of like very, very like.
Well, it seemed like the Gus character the other astronaut he seemed to get most close to and was like his next door neighbor, like it seemed like they set him up to be kind of a rival, but like once like they got to the grueling parts, they got a real camaraderie, and I enjoyed that. Oh, you know what that sequence reminded me of, like with the multi-directional thing, and then they had to take a quiz after it, and they're like the guy had like vomit chunks on his sweater and stuff.
Yeah.
It reminded me of G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane.
Yeah,
like the bald.
Yeah, where she shaves her head,
yeah.
but like they make her do this training, but she was able to stay awake for the test because she had some bread left over from dinner and was eating it, and you can't fall. It's really hard to fall asleep when you're eating something.
Yeah.
Like your body, it's like instinct.
Like don't fall asleep while you're eating.
So Rachel wrote, I'm like you, it depends on what kind of mood I am in or to what kind of movie I want to see. Drama or funny or action, but I like a movie that has all three. So I guess your favorite movie is like mine, Shaun of the Dead. That movie has everything. Oh, and as we get closer to Halloween, we'll probably list off our favorite, horror movies, Halloween movies. Do more general discussions on that kind of stuff.
Okay. I still haven't seen The Nun.
No, yeah. We're going to get a Conjuring universe host to cover like Nun movies and the future Annabelles and stuff.
Okay. We need a specialist.
Yeah, we'll get specialists for the shows.
Okay.
I'll cover the musicals.
Okay.
And you cover Christmas movies.
Okay. The Grinch.
The Grinch, yes.
Okay.
I'm making you the expert on Christmas movies. And Hanukkah.
And Hanukkah.
And Yom Kippur.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I
guess people are still caught up on Venom then.
Yeah, and I think that's more the issue. That with the box office results this weekend is Venom was a stronger showing than they anticipated, and also that A Star Is Born was also a stronger showing. Like they both had pretty good holds from week to week. Yeah, I don't know why people are down so much on Venom. It's a fun movie. I mean, I say it's right up there with Incredible Hulk,
Did the first one or the second one?
The second.
Oh, okay, the second one. Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first one as well.
Wow. Poor Sony, always taking heat.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe we'll cover this more at the end of the year. But I think the real winner this year is Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
Oh, they put out so many good hits and mid-level hits. Crazy Rich Asians was them. Game Night was them. I mean, just these mid-level movies are making money.
Yeah.
What else?
I was gonna touch bases on the daughter, but I mean that goes into her the whole drama part.
Right.
I thought it was gonna be extensive. I was gonna be like, oh, he's gonna the battle of the tumor at the beginning. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, it's gonna drag on for an hour, but no, it just went by quick,
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say it that way, but it's kind of like filler.
Right. No, I'm glad that they did it pretty early in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
They did a brief action scene to get you hooked, and then they went straight into the character building and stuff with his daughter, and then they jumped it forward. But through the whole movie, you can tell it is weighing on him. Very subtly weighing on him.
Yeah. And did you ever see that movie 42, the baseball player?
Yes.
So I remember it was reminding me of the format of how it jumps forward.
Yeah.
And you're setting up Like everything is like fast forward, but it's like it goes into details about certain things. I'm pretty happy with the format. I'm happy with the scenes and the moon and like everything.
Like at first I found it irksome that they didn't show them landing, but if nothing eventful happened during the landing, then why not? You know?
Yeah, and it's pretty epic that the astronauts are dying, and like, it shows the sacrifice and everything.
Yeah. And like Neil Armstrong barely made it through the grinder. Like there's many moments in the moment I thought he was gonna die, even knowing that they land on the moon. I'm like, he's gonna die right now.
Yeah, when he's spinning out of control.
Oh, that was the most intense scene.
Because the other guy, his partner, passes out. You know.
Right. And like you just see the rotating of the camera, and it's just the sound of just as loud as can be. I'm not gonna blow out your eardrums trying to recreate it, but it was great.
I mean, that's kind of silly, right? You're already spinning out of control, and the alarm doesn't help.
Yeah,
you're kind of thinking.
I like the additional alarms, you know, because like most of these movies, like when someone's doing a high tech, you know, even a jet plane, alarms would be going off all the time. But just for the sake of making them seem more heroic, they don't play every alarm, you know.
Yeah.
Unless it's beep beep beep, a missile's gonna hit you. Came from behind. There goes Wedge.
Well, Rachel says one of her favorite movies is Elf. Okay, I will watch Elf. Will Ferrell?
Yo, with Will, that's such a good movie. You can watch that year round. Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?
Green.
Me too. That's why our logo's full of green. But yeah, Elf, I love. I think we'll go closer into detail later on.
Once Christmas comes around.
Yeah.
Anything else, Ron?
Rachel's also pointing out, mention at the end of the show what movie you're going to discuss next time. Well, for any movie fan who's a movie fan, the 19th Halloween comes out.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're covering
Everybody's
Halloween.
Waiting for that one.
And for those of you who want to catch up on the movies, like there's been like a ton of remakes and sequels to Halloween. There's like 5 true sequels, and then a alternate timeline that's Halloween H2O, and then the 2 Rob Zombie remakes. But apparently they are ignoring everything except the original.
Okay.
And Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, and of True Lies fame and many other films with Trading Places. Jamie Lee Curtis is number 1, so I think it's gonna be a fun movie to cover.
Yeah.
And it could be a greater slasher film discussion next week as well.
Okay.
And I think you and I are gonna go to Universal Studios also, which has a Halloween 4 maze.
Okay, we'll get some pictures and bring them in.
We should. That's a great idea.
Okay.
So yeah, next week we are gonna cover Halloween. I'm just gonna look over anybody else I promised I'd give them a shout out. Oh, Tisvin Zetlani said there'll be a sequel, Second Man, about Buzz Aldrin.
Oh no.
And then a Third Man, Third Furious.
Third Furious.
It all depends on the box office performance of this one.
Well.
Oh, and a reply to it not making enough money. Corey Sayin Hulan at DBZ Hulan said, "Look, unhidden figures."
Ouch. It's pretty ouch.
Very ouch. Yeah.
Oh, Corey.
Yeah, because of the box office. And unhidden figures, that's a pretty good joke. So I gave you a shout out. You're the shout out of the week.
Okay.
It's official. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check in with us next week for our new Halloween movie discussion. and it's open to any other horror movies next week as well. So yeah, thank you for joining us for Post Credit Show. I'm Ronnie Williams.
Goodbye. I'm Sergio, and goodbye, Mr. Moon.
Yeah, goodbye, Moon Man. Goodbye, Moon Man. Have you heard that song? Peace.